Benjamin, that was awesome, you know, from an E to a grade that took you to university. I can't believe, you know, nothing is impossible. So from there, you went to university, you finished your studies, and then what happened from there?
And unfortunately, I did not manage to get to university because, again, a series of wrong choices. So once I left high school, I found myself now I'm that man. I'm grown up. I have freedom to make choices that I feeling that are right. So I didn't manage university because, again, that year I remember the cut-off points were raised by the government. So I was disqualified by
A point.
to get into university. But that did not discourage me to continue on with life. But I remember one thing again, I happened to have gotten a job, a casual job, but it was well paying. And at a very young age, with no responsibility, I would get good money. But that good money, some of it I would give it to my mom to keep it for me. But the rest of the money now, and because of the habit, it just now rose to another level. I started indulging again in drinks.
Wow. So the habit started from way back when he was 16 years in primary school, secondary school, and now when he's working again, the habit still didn't stop, you know. He continued drinking and doing all these things, you know. At some point, did you have any, I mean, when you continued drinking all those, taking all those things, did you have any legal challenge, any legal problem with the government or something like that?
Then I could manage my drinking. You know,
yes.
It was social, but I could manage it. And but again, my elder brothers were concerned about my life, my mom, my dad, and the time again that is going, and they were so sensitive about the future, my future. So they were insisting that I should drop this and get back to school and try to lift myself up through an education. But because now here I am, and I'm feeling like I'm that responsible guy, and I can do what I want to do, and I have my job. So it was just about drinking, and of course hanging out with girlfriends and just having friends, just like that. Of course, time and again we were arrested, drunk and disorderly. But at a later stage, a few years later, I would enroll myself, or somebody would just offer to pay for me a course in school, but I could not manage because a course of about 6 months or 1 year, I would do it for 3-4 years and I not even finish it because there was I could not finish anything that I start, however good it was supposed to be. But again now, it took toll of me, and time and again now, I could not afford to be engaged in a job, and any job I get, I could not even keep it. And of course, since it had become an habit and I had to sustain that addiction, I started now engaging in social vices. I would steal people's shoes, people's phones. Someone would send me some money, I would not deliver the money.
Wow.
So it got me into that unsafe ground with the law as well. Some people would want to clear it out of police. Some people would want, and of course also being arrested at night for drunk and disorderly. Those many cases I had. But yes, I experienced the same in terms of breaking the law and finding myself into police station. It was
at the same time now you started stealing things, you know.
Yeah, it was uncountable number of times. I cannot even remember. Yes.
Wow, that was awesome. That's anyway. You know, sometimes I lack words. I don't know what to say. You know, when you reach a point like that, you know, you don't see anything good because he's saying that because of that habit, he could not even keep his job. He could get a job today, but not even 2-3 months, then he'll be out of that job. But at the same time, he wanted to keep that thing, I mean, that habit of drinking. So that led him to stealing. Then what happened from there? What happened from there?
Yeah, and in the process, maybe I got involved with one of the multiple relationships, and I moved in with a girlfriend. Of course, she was pregnant, and eventually we were blessed with our firstborn son. Today my son is 22 years old, thank God, and this far. And but again, because of the habits, I could not be a I was also I was always an absentee father, even to my child.
So this thing led, I mean, you become irresponsible. You're not responsible as a family man. You were married to this lady, right?
It was a calm and steady relationship.
Calm and steady
not
relationship.
Basically, yeah, not, it was not officially a marriage, but I remember I had introduced her to a family and gone even to the extent of.
So you were
visiting
planning
with
to
them.
marry him, to marry her, because
Yes.
that looked very serious, you know, to an extent whereby you introduce someone to your family members, you know, that is very serious. So you could not maintain this relationship because of the same thing, the same habit, you know. Well,
I could not manage because any other time I'd get money. Of course, I'll need some money in the house, but most of the money I'd go out on drinking sprees. I would leave on a Thursday, come back on a Monday. Any other time I had money was not in the house.
wow.
But eventually she got tired and she left. One day I just came home and found that she had packed and gone. Yes.
Now look at that, you know, the habit itself. He started drinking, and then from there he started stealing, then multiple relationship, then from there now the lady that he wanted to marry, you know, left him, you know. He became single. Look at that, you know. Sometimes things we do, you know, choices have consequences. You may think that you're doing the right thing, you know, maybe. But at the end of it, you know, there are consequences that are coming together with that, you know. Sometimes, did you feel at some point that you wanted to leave this thing that you've been doing? You wanted to stop drinking, but you didn't just know how to stop it, you know. Did you at some point felt like that?
Yeah, that was the hardest now challenge that I got. I came to realize that I'd gotten myself into a position whereby I could not move anymore. Yeah, and it really, I tried a couple of times. Of course, I got saved. I was being prayed for every other church I go, and I would stay sober for 2-3 days. When I get money or the weekend, I'll just join my friends, and I'll find myself back at the same place. I tried a couple of number of times, just try to quit by myself. But also in the process, my siblings, my parents were still concerned. You know, my relatives were still concerned about my life, and they really tried to talk me out. But then I used to have that pride attitude. You know, I was a very arrogant guy back then, so I could not manage to even listen to anybody. And anybody who wanted to tell me or to tell me that I have a problem with alcohol automatically became an enemy.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Oh, so everybody, it's like now everybody was your enemy because they used to tell you that you should stop this, you should stop it, but you didn't want to listen to them.
Anybody who tried to mention in that area that I have a problem with alcohol automatically became an enemy. Whether it was my mom, whether it was my dad, whether it was my brother, automatically he just became an enemy.
Why? Why was that?
Because I'm already deep in something that is affecting me that I don't even understand. Now, when you come and remind me of the same, eventually it just brought me down. I don't know how, but this thing had already broken me down. So coming to talk about it and speak about it eventually became something else.
Okay, so can you say that by this particular time, did you talk to your mom about it? Did you share it with your dad or something?
I could not go to anybody because, again, these are the same people who had tried to assist me initially. And I'd already lost their confidence, I'd already lost their trust, so I was now a loner. I could not go anywhere.
Because you consider everybody your enemy?
Yes.
Wow, that was...
Yeah, I also, if I can say, I had a couple of friends in that kind of life, but eventually all these people just deserted me. All my friends left me. I was a desolate man. I was an angry man. I was a desperate man.
Now viewers, look at that, you know, all his friends left him, you know. Sometimes you have friends in lives, you know, friends who, when you go through something, they're not there for you. They will leave you because, you know, at that point you felt, the way he's saying, he felt like he's nothing, you know, nothing good was coming out of him. And his friends, there was, I mean, they didn't stick by him, you know. That is why I say sometimes it's very important that you look at friends that you keep, you know, that friend of yours that you consider, that you share your secret with. When such things, when storm comes into your life, are they able to stay with you? You know, sometimes it's very good. Like you say, they left you. Was there any single friend that you can identify that this one stayed with me and he was really there for me, or she was there for me?
Not anyone that I can mention, because friends only came when you have something maybe to offer, and the only thing maybe then I could offer is a drink. So any other time maybe I would find myself that I have a small amount of money, that's when friends would come in, and I'm the one who would call them. But any other time I have nothing and I'm down, none of them, I cannot say anybody was there by my side. Yeah.
Wow. So from there, what happened, Benjamin?
It came to a point where I really wanted out, but I could not know, I did not even know where to start from.
Oh, so you really wanted to come out of this habit, but you just didn't know how to come out of it.
I didn't know where even to start, because again, I've burnt all my bridges, I've destroyed relationships with anybody that I knew was supposed to be close to me. Everything I destroyed. So there was no way I could start, as much as I wanted to come out of it, as much as I wanted to quit the habit. I could not do it by myself, and there's nobody I could approach in terms of help, because again, I'd already played their mind for a very long time. Because remember, this thing I started when I was in primary school, that's when my the concern came even for them. Then the whole of secondary, then this after the near band.
So did you feel that like you're being punished with them or something, like they don't just care? Did you feel like that at some point?
By that time, they had become enemies.
Enemies.
And now I was blaming my situation now to them. You know, they are the cause of ABCD. Because at some point I was asking, I remember one day I was asking my dad, even my brothers, my siblings are drinking, but why are they not like me? You know, so it was just a matter of, it was just a blame game, but I completely had refused to accept that I had a problem. And that was the beginning. If I had accepted that I have a problem, maybe it would have been the beginning of somebody maybe trying to come and assist. But
yeah, you see, you hear what he's saying, like he didn't accept that he has a problem. Sometimes when things happen in our life, you know, it all starts with you. That is all I can say. It starts with you. You have to accept the situation. If you want the situation to change, you have to accept first. It starts with you. You know, you don't have to you don't have to blame other people for whatever is happening in your life. It starts with you. So you listen to that viewer. Listen to him. Continue, Benjamin. I'm so, you know, I'm really getting challenged, you know, because I'm very sure that at least, and I know very well that whoever is watching this, you know, they are back there at home, or maybe you know a friend of yours that is going through the same thing that our brother Benjamin went through. You know, it's not like everything that happens, you know, is very strange. But you know, what matters is how do you overcome it? How do you stop it? And you know, yes. So
yeah, after some time, after my the relationship failed, found myself could not manage myself. So I almost sold everything in the house. I sold and drank everything. But having nowhere to go, I had to go and seek permission now and request to go back where I was born in Eastlands. And since it was family and they could not throw me, they had to accept me back. But again, I could not even cope, even going back there, because the habit is still with me. And I just settled for a few weeks, but again, it took control of me again. I started selling things, small things in the house. They get to notice about it. Now I became alone, because even in our own house, I could not even be trusted with anything. Yeah, when they want to leave the house, they have to leave the house, they lock the house.
They could not trust you because you were selling things.
Yeah, I could not be trusted. I could not be allowed to just move within the house by myself. That's how it was. And then again, I remember very well, it brought a very wrong picture. You know, people now started branding me. They started calling me names, and everywhere I would go, the names would come and follow me. You know, nobody would want to really associate with me, especially family. And that was the hardest part now in life. And you're out there, and the neighbors are saying, that's Benjamin Levy, Benjamin Levy, Benja Kalewa, you know, Benja Ule Mwizi. And it really affected me so much. At some point, I just got to a point that I retreated back to the house, and most of the time I was just locking myself in the house. The only time I was getting outside the house, it was about from midnight, from around 10 p.m. is when I was getting out.
Now look at that. From midnight, that's when you could step out, because like, people branded you names, you know. That is where our God comes in, you know. God, no matter what we do in this life, you know, God will never call us by sins, by those things that we've done. He will always call me Sheila, he will call you Benjamin, you know. But the devil will always call you by that thing that you've done, you know, that thief, that prostitute, you know, that whatever, you know, that is now the difference. You look at that, look at that. They branded him names, and that made him to lock himself in the house, only to move out at night, you know, 10 p.m., 12 p.m., because he was that, the shame, you know, the shame now was too much on him, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And having been raised from a Christian background,
Mm-hmm.
I felt even God
Mm-hmm.
and just let me, you know,
Oh.
God, I just felt a sense of desperateness and loneliness. I became depressed. I became suicidal at some point. But again, the biggest elephant now was the issue. I still not dealt with the issue. So at some point, I remember I had gotten involved myself in some wrong company in Nairobi, within Nairobi. So I had to be chased from Nairobi. You know, I was asked to leave.
To
And
leave
so
Nairobi,
yeah.
as big as it is.
Yes.
He was asked to leave Nairobi, you know.
Yeah. So I retreated back to Western Province to be with my mom and my dad. They welcomed me, being my parents, but it didn't take long. 2 months, 3 months later, and since I had not addressed the big issue, you know,
The elephant was there, still there with you.
It was still there deep inside me. It was still. I just transported it in the same bus. I was carrying it with me. So 2, 3 months later, boom, here I am again now. But you see, in Nairobi, it was liquor. Those cheap drinks, at least they were. You could call them alcohol. Now in Busia, now the only thing that was available, and it's the village, is now changa and bangi. That is the only thing that is available. So I graduated now deeper
To Changa and Bangi.
and it's available. It's available and it's cheap.
And it's cheap.
Yes.
Wow.
So it became another cycle of events, and I now decided to disturb my parents. My brothers came and tried to intervene. My mom would call people to come and pray for me, to come for intervention, but nothing could do
happen.
anything. But I went deeper into it, but at some point I just started feeling that now I don't have anything to live for anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
the
and
suicidal
we're talking,
thoughts
yeah,
started
we're talking
coming
now,
into
this is about 12 years into the habit, you know.
12 years into
13
the
years
habit.
into the
And
habit.
no help at all.
Yes. Even if I want help, there's nobody
There's nobody there.
who would believe me, you know, because I've already taken them through this cycle for these many years. So nobody ever knew whether I'm serious or not in anything.